Fatal Fury is a franchise that I am completely new to. This is a series that I've always heard of and knew about, but I never got the opportunity to jump into it until the initial release of City of the Wolves. This was a game that I actually enjoyed and played a decent bit with a lot of my homies that are big SNK fans. And I even technically made a video on this game talking about my first time getting into it, but I just never got the opportunity to upload it. But within that video, I discussed that I was actually running into a character crisis issue because I just didn't know who to play. I believe this is because it was a character that I really didn't resonate with within the Fatal Fury franchise, and they didn't really have the gameplay that I was looking for when getting into a fighting game for the first time. But after SNK reached out to me to actually cover their new DLC character early, I think I finally found a character that makes me love City of the Wolves so much. Yeah, that's right, your boy got the opportunity to play Joe Higashi early, and let me just say, this is by far one of the most fun characters that I've played within this game, and probably within recent fighting games for a good bit. Just because Joe is a character that covers all the bases that I love in most of my fighting game characters. He's a strong all-arounder with pretty good buttons and great ways to advance, especially with his standing heavy punch. He also has great fireballs, which is something that I know he's notorious for, even though that his fireball game seems to be slightly weaker than what it was, especially like in KOF 15, but it does still overall seem really good as he's able to control a lot of space, and he's able to feint his fireball options to make his opponent guess if he's going to be going for double fireballs, single, and even his EX. This is really strong and something that I love about this character so much, because I'm someone that kind of struggles with it neutral if my character doesn't have a fireball acquainted with them, but because of Joe's great fireball game, I love it so much. He even has great ways to approach his opponent with like skip neutral options with his axe kit that leaves him safe, and even when used his heavy version leaves him plus on block. This is something that's really nice and great to use, but this is something that you don't want to just always throw out, as you'll get just defended a lot of times and punished for doing so, but it is a strong option nonetheless. Another thing that I like about this character is that they actually gave him a stance, which gives him a lot of different follow-ups to punish a lot of situations. So because he has a stance, it actually gives him guard point, which means he's able to take hits when this is active and still remain in the stance while being able to punish his opponent like this. A really strong option. Now within the stance, he has multiple follow-ups, like for instance this overhead strike. He also has a forward kick as well as a sweep. He then has a great command grab option, which is really good for calling out opponents, but when EX in this stance, he also able to get follow-ups off of to lead to some pretty nasty combos. We then have his third punches that I found out mostly used to extend his combos, but they can be used for block stream pressure. These do have follow-ups that do leave him safe, but I do believe there is a big enough gap that you're able to just defend between them. I will say though, when going for his overhead options within these follow-ups, be careful as these do leave him negative on block, making him punishable from light attacks. Now you will notice when using the EX versions, he does get slightly different follow-ups on the heavy one as it becomes a launcher in the red version for the heavy, while the light remains the same animation, but it just becomes plus on block now. Then of course we have his DP. Just like any regular DP in this game, you're able to use it as a combo ender, get people off you with the light version since it's invincible. And of course his heavy version is breakable, which allows him to extend combos and lead into like supers and other specials that he can combo into. There's also a nice trait with Joe's EX DP that allows him to end with his rev blow, which allows him to go for really nice meaty fireball setups that, if not respected, instantly allows him to go into another combo again. But that's it when it comes to Joe's special moves. I guess before I go into his supers, he does have some nice jump button as well, as his jump light kick is his great cross up option. His jump heavy kick is what I mostly use for jumping in, as well as his jump heavy punch. Really good buttons to use within the air. Great options. I love his jumping buttons. Now to go over his supers, we do have his ignition gears, where he has screw upper, mostly used as a combo ender, as it does great damage for literally just one bar. We also have his screw elbow, which is another great combo ender, as well as has the ability to be able to charge. I'm guessing you're able to do this to like kind of react against people for doing some unsafe things, to go for a nice hefty punish. But his red line version is definitely the main one to go to, which we'll talk about in just a second. For his red line super, again we have screw upper, which is another great combo ender tool. Then we have screw elbow, which is also actually able to be a combo extender. I found this really interesting as it allowed Joe to be very expressive and a lot more combo oriented after this super. But even if you don't want to do that, he also has another follow-up version off of this super, which allows him to do some very insane damage. This is chargeable as well, and I just love this super so much. This is one of the primary supers you're going to be using in a lot of utility with Joe, and it's going to leave a lot of expression up to the player if he has the rev meter available. Then of course finally we have his sexy hidden gear. Joe all around is a pretty simple character and really easy to get into, and one character I would actually suggest for people to actually learn and play the game with, as he does have like a really strong basis that allows you to play the basic games of like you would of like a Shoto in a way, because of how good his firewall game is, his buttons, and I think his pretty easy ways to combo into some pretty simple things. So for me, since I'm not a really big SNK head and I don't know like a lot of the history of these characters or even know like the deep ins and out of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of talking about like frame data, any of that stuff. So for the rest of this video, I actually just want to show you guys some of the sauce that this character has and some of the main aspects that I love about him, because I think his combo game is really sick, especially since you're actually able to implement a lot of his stance techniques within it. But I appreciate you guys and your love and support. Remember to leave a like and subscribe channel if you are new, and also again thank you for SNK for giving me the opportunity to check Joe out. But without further ado, here's those combos.
Continue.